Ooh, I like that one. I don't know where it went.
That was good.
Craig, this is your wedge shot before we started making any adjustments. Have Tiger on the right and you on the left. Tiger's hitting a similar distance than you are. Want to look at your stance here. Um, Tiger's stance is slightly wider than yours, and we talked about flaring that left foot. You can see how Tiger's left foot is flared a little bit more. Here's his back foot, which is kind of square, but his left foot is flared a bit more. And you have your feet more parallel to each other. And what we ended up changing was flaring that left foot out just a little bit. As I look at this now, for the distance you were hitting, I would like to have a little wider foundation in your stance. And so I would separate your feet an inch or two. We're not talking 6 inches here. We're talking just slightly. I think that'll give you a little bit better foundation and make you more stable in your swing. I've framed both of your heads in a little square there. And let's look at Tiger take it back. And you'll see that that head stays right over the ball. I mean, right over the square. He doesn't move that head to the right in any way. So when his left arm is parallel to the ground right here, he simply has turned his left shoulder down and his right shoulder up. He's kept his head stable. As you take it back, you do have a tendency, and you have a tendency to move a little bit to the right. So you're outside the box in your backswing. And so we need to learn how to swing the shoulders and under the chin without the head moving to the right, without any body weight moving to the right. Now as you come through, let me do Tiger first. As you come through, or Tiger comes through, at impact his head is right in there. Good extension in both arms. Let's take you to impact. Now you get back to the square. There's a little bit of an upward lift there. And so now you're both in similar positions. You have good extension in both arms, elbows close to each other. That part looks, that snapshot right there doesn't demonstrate that there's anything wrong before or after. That looks pretty solid. But we need to put all the pieces together for this motion. When Tiger gets to here, watch his right knee. When he finishes the swing, his right knee is even with his left knee. As you come through and finish, you're going to see your right knee go beyond your left knee. And that's an indication that if I were to draw an arrow right down the front thigh and the arrow down the left leg, they are not lined up. Where for Tiger, his left leg and right thigh are lined up. So if you were to widen your stance, if this back foot was a little bit further back, that would move your right knee a little further back in your finish, and you would be in the same position. So you never want your right knee to go beyond the left leg in your follow through. You can come up slightly short or even with it, and that would be better. That would demonstrate the proper width of stance. And so the fact that your right knee is going beyond the left leg is an indication that your stance is too narrow, and your foundation and stability and stance is going to be problematic. Now on the right, your setup is a little bit wider. Your left foot is flared a little bit. And let's take a look at this swing. Also, we were starting to move our hands just slightly more in front of the ball, so you have a little bit more shaft lean, which is good. On the left here, this was your shaft lean. and over here, this is your shaft lean. So you had just a little more shaft lean, and your shaft is now lining up with your shoulder on the right. So the left arm from the shoulder down to the golf ball is pretty much in the same line. So you have a very constant radius in your golf swing with that change. Let's look at the, let me put you through that impact position. So the right leg is going beyond the left leg. Let's look at this new setup. As you come through, and you're going to see this left foot is flared a lot more here. But also now, this is pretty much the right thigh and the right knee is even with the left leg. So that's a much more solid balance, much more stability, much easier to keep your balance with that wider stance. So that changing your stance and setup is going to help you execute a much better swing. The other thing that the wider stance, I believe, does for you, it helps you have that stable foundation and allows you to take the club back with your shoulders without your head moving as much. I've drawn a blue line from the center of the right ankle up to the top of the head. And you're starting pretty similar position with your head position in terms of relationship to that blue arrow. If anything, on the right, your wider stance, your head is a little bit away from the line, which makes sense since you have a wider stance. And so, but let's look at the backswing now. And because I'm hand holding this camera, I'm going to redraw that arrow from the center of your stance. When you get to the 3 position, this is when the left arm is parallel to the ground. So right there is the 3 position, and the blue arrow is no longer in the center of the ankle, so it's not a true representation of where it started. So I'm going to draw a red arrow off the center of the ankle, and you can see that now your head is beyond the red arrow. It's beyond the center of the ankle. So there is evidence there that you moved your head to the right. You didn't keep that head centered and still in your backswing. And I'm going to do the same thing on the right now as you come back. And you can see how that blue arrow's moved because I'm hand holding this camera. So I'm going to redraw that arrow from the center of the ankle to the top. And you can see how your entire head and hat is still to the side of that red arrow. You haven't broken that red arrow. You haven't moved across that red arrow in your backswing when your left arm is parallel to the ground. So you're keeping your head much more still in your backswing when you have that wider stance. So a lot of things improve when you widen your stance and you flare the left foot.
Yeah, that feels good right there.
Oh, that sounded really good.
Yeah.
Looks like a carbon copy of all the others.
Yeah. It's just a lot of what you're saying, getting in a comfortable setup position.
Yep.
For me, it's so much more comfortable than it's been. Just to have my foot open and my hands a little bit forward and stay down into it. That one I liked.
Did you go after that a little bit more? Or-
That was a little freer.
Yeah.
Sounded good though. I think that comes with confidence.
Yes, yes.
That's one of those things, like you say, like new swing, once it's a little more solid, you'll get those.
Sometimes before I swing, I wasn't thinking to do that, but it just happened. You know?
That's exactly what that one was.
Better.
There it is. Better.
Look at that little baby draw right at the flag.
Yeah.
Most comfortable and natural technique.
I feel like I'm not thinking about.
But all body, just very little wrist. It's there, but it's not conscious. So it's an arm swing. You're just swinging your forearms through the ball, not your wrist. You need both of these. This is easier under pressure than the one with the wrist. Move the ball slightly forward in your stance, and it'll go higher. Swing the chest. Tie the wrist to the chest swing.
Yeah, okay.
Don't let the body quit. Yeah, we've got to have I'd rather you be short and aggressive with the hit. Short backswing and be aggressive. Yeah, we need some height out of this thing. So I'd put it more forward in your stance. There you go.
This chip went in the hole.
Oh. Yeah, they're going higher too.
Yeah. Too hard.
And then you shorten that with your backswing. So you can have a short backswing, but the speed through, you still want to attack it.
Okay.
It's still speed. It's got to be speed.
Oh, that.
Double the speed on this one,
Okay.
but not a big backswing. Sometimes you have to just dig it out.
Yeah, and I don't know what it is. It's like I'm scared of going long, and I never go long hardly. Well, I go long once every 10 tries,
Right.
and then it's like I won't go long forever until I get frustrated with going short.
And make sure to stay on that left side. If you sway, you're going to trap too much grass between the ball and the club.
Okay.
You've got to stay on that left side so your attack angle is steeper. It's almost a chop.
Yeah.
Now you can chop with a slightly open stance or ball forward, but it's stay on that left side. Really stay heavy on the left side. Good. Let's open this one up a little bit, these two.
Okay.
So it's almost a bunker shot.
Okay.
Stay on that left side. Good.